Hello everyone, Mad Dog here. I hope your week has gone well. My week hasn't been the greatest week, mainly because that cold that I told you about at the beginning of the week, the cold that I told you about last week got worse. It made me have to come home early on Friday, or no, not Friday, I don't work on Friday, this is Friday, that was Friday, never mind. Made me have to come home from work early on Saturday, and then made me have to miss work on Monday. Now, there's not been any consequences to me for missing that time at work, so I'm thankful about that. So other than that, though, I'm getting better, but I gave my cold to my wife, and she missed 2 days of work. So this has not been the best week for the two of us. Anyway, but I hope your week has been better than our week. I'm not going to say it. I always say I don't have a whole lot I want to talk to you about today. I wanted to talk to you about what I had planned on talking to you about last week. That's basically Doctor Who. Now, I don't know how many of you who are subscribed to me actually have watched Doctor Who before, seen an episode of Doctor Who before, whether it be the original series or the new series, which I consider one series, but anyway. Basically, what Doctor Who is, for those of you who are not familiar, is the story of an alien who looks human who can travel in time. He has a time machine / spaceship called the TARDIS, which stands for Time and Relative Dimension in Space. It looks like an old, on the outside, it looks like an old English telephone police box, blue police box, because all police boxes, when they still existed, were blue. If you want to know what a police box is, I'm sure you could do your research on that. I'm not going to go into that. But it's like a telephone booth, but associated with the police. And sometimes in the old days, there was actually a police constable on duty inside the box. There's always a telephone in the box, but that is free for the use of the public to call for help. There's similar things, I'm sure that there's still similar things like that on some freeways where you can pull over the side of the road and they're emergency phones. But anyway, the Doctor, that's the name of the alien. He's called the Doctor. The show is called Doctor Who, but he's never referred to that, except in one serial, referred by that during the course of the series. He's from Gallifrey. He's called a Time Lord. He usually has a human companion who travels with him, and usually a young female human companion, although there's been several male companions as well. One of the longest-running companions in Doctor Who history was male. His name was Jamie. He was a Scottish Highlander, played by Fraser Hines, one of my favorite companions, actually. Anyway, over the course of the series, there have been 13 different actors who have played the Doctor, starting in 1963 with William Hartnell, who played the first Doctor. He played the first Doctor from 1963 to 1966. After him, the second Doctor was Patrick Troughton, who played the Doctor from 1966 until 1969. And then after him was John Pertwee, who played the third Doctor, from 1970 to 1974. After him was Tom Baker, who played the fourth Doctor from 1974 until 1981. The fifth Doctor was Peter Davison, who played the Doctor from 1981 until 1984. After him was Colin Baker, no relation to Tom Baker, who played the Doctor for only 2 seasons, from 1984 to 1986. Then after him was the seventh Doctor, played by Sylvester McCoy. Excuse me. He only played the Doctor for 2 seasons. He played the Doctor from 1986. I'm sorry, was it 86? No. He played the Doctor from 1987 until 1989. And then there was a large hiatus. The next actor to play the Doctor was Paul McGann, who played him once on television. That was a TV movie done on the Fox network, I believe in 1996. I'm not 100% sure about that. Just called Doctor Who. He played the 8th Doctor. It was supposed to be a canonical continuation of the original series, because in that movie, the 7th Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, regenerates into Paul McGann. But that was the only screen appearance from Paul McGann for almost 20 years. In fact, I think more than 20 years. I don't know. I'd have to do some research, because he did show up again later as part of another storyline. Because that's one of the things that Doctor Who can do, because the Doctor regenerates. That's how come all these different actors can play the Doctor. When the Doctor's body, when he's seriously injured, when it gets old, whatever, the Doctor can regenerate into a new body. He can do, normally Time Lords can only do that 12 times. The Doctor has now done it 13. But and that's part of the story I'm not going to give away. After Paul McGann, the next actor to play the Doctor on TV was Christopher Eccleston, starting in 2005 with the Ninth Doctor. Unfortunately, there was a Doctor between those two, but again, that was part of the storyline that we never saw until later on, called the War Doctor, who was actually the Ninth Doctor, played by William Hurt. And that's part of another storyline that was established in the 11th Doctor's time frame, which after Christopher Eccleston, the next Doctor to play him was also one of the most popular Doctors, and I really enjoy him. He's not my favorite, but I really enjoy him. Is David Tennant, who played the 10th Doctor. Played the 10th Doctor. Christopher Eccleston only played the 9th Doctor for one season. David Tennant played the Doctor for 4, technically. And then after David Tennant was the 11th Doctor, played by Matt Smith, 3 seasons, one of my favorites. And then after David Tennant, after Matt Smith is Peter Capaldi, the current actor who's playing the 12th Doctor, even though he's the 13th incarnation. That's the story on all of those different actors. My personal favorite of all of them, I have two. Well, my two personal favorites are Tom Baker and Peter Capaldi. Those are my 2 personal favorites. I also really like Sylvester McCoy. I also like David Tennant. Those are kind of my top favorite Doctors, David Tennant and Matt Smith. Those are my top favorite Doctors right there. I like all of them, because technically they're all the same character. If you haven't watched Doctor Who before, I would recommend, some people are always asking, what episode, what story, whatever should I watch to get into it, to be introduced to it. A good introductory story, if you want to do the revived series from 2005 on, a good introductory story is an episode called Blink. It's a very Dr. Light story. He's only in it briefly, but it is still one of the best written Doctor Who stories of all time. And it is a serious mind-bender if you watch it. Another one, if you want to do the more classic Doctor Who, start with Tom Baker. There's a story called Pyramids of Mars, one of my personal favorites. I think it's it's an excellent introductory story. Back during those days, there wasn't just one episode per story. A story was a serial, back in the classic Doctor Who days, was a serial of multiple episodes, which Pyramids of Mars is 4 episodes long, each of the episodes 25 minutes long. Each episode is 25 minutes long, and each episode ends on a cliffhanger, just like the old serials that used to play on classic movies when you would go to the movie theater. But Pyramids of Mars is one of my all-time favorites. I think it's an excellent introductory story for any Doctor Who fan. Or for any newbie to Doctor Who, it's an excellent introductory story. Another good one for classic Doctor Who, particularly 4th Doctor, is called City of Death, which is written by Douglas Adams, the same guy that wrote The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It is a riot of a story, again, 4 parts, all set in Paris. It's a riot. It's a good story, but it's also very, very funny. Probably one of the funniest Doctor Who stories of all time. Other good stories, there's a bunch of them out there, but I think those are good ones to start with. If you want to see what I consider one of the best Doctor Who stories of all time, absolute best written, best performed Doctor Who story of all time, it's the last story for the 5th Doctor. It's called The Caves of Androzani. It is excellent. It's one of my personal favorites. I believe it is one of the best written, best acted stories of the entire run of the series. That one, another one from the 3rd Doctor's time, is called Inferno, 7 parts. Caves of Androzani is 4 parts. From the 3rd Doctor's time, Inferno is 7 parts, but it's still really good. Very exciting stuff. But that's basically the rundown on Doctor Who. I wanted to kind of give you an overview of what Doctor Who was all about, if you have not been introduced to it yet. It's worth checking out. Not everybody can get into it. I know people who've told me before, I can't get into it. I watched an episode and it bored me to tears. Well, that's all right. You don't have to watch it if you don't like it. It's my favorite television series, but you don't have to like it. But if you want to get into it, there's a primer to kind of get you into it. Some story ideas, some episode story ideas for you to check out. Anyway, that's about all I had to talk to you about today. I don't know if this vlog made any coherent sense, but I believe it was more focused than my last vlog, which is kind of what I was going for. But anyway, I hope you all have a good rest of your week. I hope you have a good weekend. I have a 4-day weekend today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. We were originally going to go on a trip this weekend, but that fell through because my wife couldn't get the time off her job. But anyway, I have the time off, so I'm going to enjoy it. And I hope you all enjoy your weekends as well. Maybe I'll get to go see Alien Covenant this weekend. I really want to see that movie. I'm a big Alien fan. Anyway, guys, you all take care. I will talk to you again next week. This is Mad Dog signing off. Goodbye for now.